none of your time. Are you trying to put something on your mind? I just wanna add a little sugar to your spice. I like it when you know they not nice. Got me thinking about the last time you and I made love. Be love. Thinking about the last time it's you and me. Ooh, all day. That's right. It's a grown man shit right there. Fellas, tighten your game up. Remember when I told y'all in a video about the projects, how you had projects within a project. See, no one understands something, that the ghettos and the projects was originated and started by the Jews. See, this was an attack that was set up years and years and years ago, that was set up by design. You remember when you went to school and you had to go in one day and present a project? See, it was the same thing when they started building these hoods, building these ghettos, building these projects. They called it a project because that's exactly what it was, a project. It started with the Jews building ghettos, projects, and within these projects, they wanted to see how many of us would live, how many of us would survive, how many of us would fill up the prison system, how many of us would come out uneducated and only be factory workers, people that would rely on the government assistance, all this ugliness and nonsense that you could think of. The projects were utilized and put in play by design, and they mainly put poor women, poor people in these projects, and they use them as lab rats. But within these projects, there was another project. What was the other project? The other project that these people had was the single moms. They say, well, we're going to build these projects, and we're going to do a project on the mind of the single mothers, of what you may call the single mothers. So inside these projects, we're going to allow all these women with children to move into these apartments. We're going to give them all the government assistance. You know, all this shit is ran by the 1%. Big corporations, people who run the world. This is a war. This is an attack that was done on the black families. Not just the black man, but the black families. So within these projects, they say we're going to offer these women all these assistance. We're going to give them food stamps, trick them into child support, all this, you know, whatever we can give them, you know, we give them, let them live in these projects, these government housing that we're doing a project on. Gonna let these rats live in there, and we're gonna pay them a cheap price, all for the cost of one condition. The father of them children can't be there. Do y'all hear what the fuck I just told you? Do you get the get of what I'm telling you? These projects were set up by design to break down and dismantle the black families. Put these females in there with their kids, whatever the case may be. The man can't be there. Not only did they break down and separate the household, dismantle the household, everything begins in the home. See, the reason why you have so much dysfunction in the black community, because it all started with the black women in the homes, and the fathers wasn't there. You got these women trying to raise these young men, but they raise them like punks. Women can't raise a man because a woman is not a man and she can never be a man. So these young fellas growing up today, they didn't know how to be men. They grew up in the projects. They were stroked by their mothers. So when they grow up and they get old enough and become adults and get out in relationships, the women of the day are calling these young men pussies. They calling them punks. They saying they are not men. Why? Because they wasn't raised by men. So you got a lot of these suckers out here, man. They jumping on women. They doing this and that. They really emotional simply because of what was set up by design in these projects. See, work was done on us. War, a silent attack. Dismantle the homes, take the man out of the home, Let these single mothers raise these children. A lot of these young men are not going to make it. They're going to get killed. A lot of them are going to fill up the prisons, fill up our factories, whatever the case may be. Whatever we get out of this project, this is a test run. Now, if you notice, down here in North Carolina, where I'm from, we really don't have no more projects down here no more. They done started tearing them all down. Why? Because they were done with the project. See, it's a new project out now. But that's what happened. They dismantled the homes. Everything starts in the home. So once they done that, children was growing up in an unbalanced home, which caused a lot of dysfunctions in their mindsets. So a lot of these young fellas growing up out here, a lot of these young women, they off the chain. Y'all young was off the chain. I can't even explain it. I don't want to explain it. And I don't want to have nothing to do with this shit that I see out here. But this is the reason for this. See, this was set up a long time ago when they started building these projects. It was a project within a project. So in these projects, like I told you, you had a lot of single mothers set up by design. They kicked the man out of the house so the black families can grow up in a dismantled household as to where there will be no unity, no family structure. See, we can't have a community. Black folks can't have a good community because it's too much unbalance in the household. You got a lot of young men who was raised by women and really emotional, but don't know how to be a man to a woman because they wasn't taught that by a man. They only been taught by women, though this is how you used to treat a woman. No, you need to be taught by a man how to be a man when it comes to a woman. And that's what's going on right now today. The project within the projects. It was war initiated and set up by design and aimed at the black communities. Dismantle their homes, take the fathers out their homes. There will not be any structure. They will be unbalanced, and their kids will be out of control. Message!